all remember the last time the Montreal Canadiens traded a goaltender to the Avalanche, right? Yeah, the Jose Theodore David A. Bisher trade. Totally something that we're remembering right now. Definitely not talking about some legendary goaltenders who are arguably probably the best of all time, but let's talk a little bit about Carey Price. I know, great segue. Before we begin, I wanted to give a big shout out to Hands Down Hockey, Justin the Man 87. He uploaded a really interesting video about trading Carey Price, literally like 20 minutes after I got out of bed and decided, hey, I want to tackle this Avalanche for Price thing. So I'll leave a link in the description to his video. You can see the thumbnail up on the screen right now. Let's talk a little bit about Carey Price and the Colorado Avalanche specifically. And the reason we're bringing this up is because it's actually been quite the topic amongst Avalanche fans. On denverpost.com, which is a Denver-oriented news outlet, they talk about the Colorado Avalanche. They talked about trading for Carey Price as a potential option on one of their articles over here. As goaltender Phillip Grubauer loses grip on the starting job, should the Avalanche explore a trade for Carey Price? The article goes over the Avalanche and their recent slump. I don't want to say slump like flat out like they've been losing every game, but the Avalanche haven't been amazing over their past few performances. They're 3-5-2 in their last 10, and Grubauer is in a position where the goaltending hasn't necessarily been amazing over the past few weeks. Obviously, the Avalanche have Grubauer, they have Pavel Francouz, and they're in a position where the team isn't necessarily performing at the level that people know that they're capable of. This article talks about that, and it talks about how the Avalanche could be, I say could because that's the key word here, could be in need of a goaltending change. So that's where Carey Price enters the conversation. The article talks about Carey Price and how he is in a position where the Montreal Canadiens are weird. Let's just say that. The Canadiens are in a weird position. They're trying to sell hope, trying to sell the future, trying to sell the idea that these younger guys are really good and they're going to come in and be good down the line, while also trying to promote a level of competitiveness today. They get the guys like Kovalchuk, they get the older guys on their team, they're trying to improve their standing, win some games, and at the expense of a higher draft pick, this is the direction they're going down. Carey Price has been in the subject of trade rumors for a while now, which is why the Avalanche are in this discussion here that's brought up on denverpost.com. Carey Price is in a position where he has talked about how he wants to win a cup in the past, and the Canadiens aren't really in a position where anybody can confidently say, yeah, this team is going to contend for the cup this year, or even next year. So, the idea of trading Carey Price to the Avalanche is brought up in this article, and in fact, it actually is something that I saw on Twitter a lot, too. After this article got published, Montreal Twitter really did just start exploding pretty much. Whole bunch of Avalanche talk, whole bunch of Carey Price talk, guys saying they wanted to keep Price, saying, oh, you know, we can't trade Carey Price, he is the heart and soul of this team. Other guys saying, yeah, why wouldn't we trade Carey Price? Especially in a circumstance like this, the guy's got a huge contract and there's a team that could be willing to take it on, why not do that? Then there were the Avalanche fans saying things like, yeah, okay, why would we do that? This team is just in a minor slump. Getting Carey Price and not going with Grubauer, it's not going to fix anything per se. The team will still be the same. And then you have the other guys who are bringing up the perspective that is said in this article, saying things like, okay, take a look at it at face value. Who is the better goaltender today? Phillip Grubauer or Carey Price? The majority of people would say Carey Price, just based off of reputation. But the thing is, the underlying numbers kind of skewed the other way. Carey Price this year's at a .904 save percentage and a .295 goals against average. Grubauer's at a .909 save percentage and a .292 goals against average. So statistically speaking, Grubauer is actually the better goalie here. And a lot of people are bringing that up saying, okay, well, why would we go after Price if Grubauer is already technically better? But that's the thing. The perspective that other people are bringing up is, yes, Grubauer is better on paper, but can you confidently, 100% say with every fiber of your being that right now in this year, Carey Price is inferior to Grubauer in terms of how well he's able to play the game? So that's the combating perspective to that, but the main idea that a lot of people I've seen have been bringing up is, okay, getting Price is not going to solve this team's slump. Getting Price, who is an inferior statistical goaltender, to Phillip Grubauer is not going to magically make this team really, really good and first in the Central like it was a few years ago, etc. Granted, that was like 6 years ago, back when they still had Varlamov and all that stuff, but the idea of trading Carey Price has been very polarizing, and for good reason. Everybody kind of knows this. The guy's on a $10.5 million deal until 2026, with a no-move clause. And people are saying, yeah, well, the contract is huge, but other people are saying, yeah, well, Carey Price did say himself that he does want to win a cup, and if the Canadiens are not in a position to even sniffing that cup contention status, then it would be understandable for Carey Price to say, yeah, okay, trade me. So, when it comes to a Colorado Avalanche situation specifically, there are the combating sides on both teams' perspectives, but overall, it would, in my opinion, actually make sense. Because Carey Price, to me, despite what the numbers say, is a better goaltender than Phillip Grubauer is. It's just Carey Price has been playing in kind of a down year, and the team in front of him hasn't been amazing. I mean, 2 separate 8-game losing streaks. That's not great. So I think it's unfair to just take a look at only the goals against average and only the save percentage and conclude from just that, yeah, Grubauer is the better goaltender and there's no debate. Furthermore, when it comes to a trade scenario, there would probably have to be some salary retained, because $10.5 million is a lot, and the Canadiens definitely did lock him up for a really long time. But obviously, because you're retaining salary, I think the Avalanche are really going to have to set in a whole bunch of stuff if they were going to accomplish this. No doubt in my mind is a Bowen Byram included in a trade like this. No doubt in my mind are some of the other Avalanche really good prospects touched on in this idea. Maybe an Alex Newhook is in there. Maybe a Martin Kaut is in there. Maybe a WHL Sasha Mutala is in there. Or maybe even a hometown Quebec Alex Beaucage is in there. So there are options that do need to be explored. But a Carey Price trade would be the ultimate confirmation that the Canadiens will be building towards the future rather than this year or next year. Because it's been a few years of mediocrity for the Canadiens, and this has been a cycle that has been pressed upon and pressed upon and pressed upon in the media. Oh, they're winning some games, great. Oh, they're losing a whole bunch in a row, and they miss out on the playoffs. Oh, they're not necessarily in a position where they've made a whole bunch of playoff-making moves. They added Kovalchuk, they added Scandella, they tried to go after Aho, that didn't work. So what's next? Are they just going to keep on rotating and cycling through this series of mediocrity until Cole Caulfield comes in, he's an absolute beast, and all of a sudden you lose out on all your really good prospects because they all need money now? This is the weird situation with the Canadiens, and we've talked about it before, that crazy stuff like talking about a Canadiens Avalanche trade for Carey Price, it doesn't seem too outlandish for me. And I know it was kind of a hot topic on Twitter, that's why I'm kind of talking about it here. But the fact that I can sit here and think about it and say, yeah, that actually kind of does make sense from certain points of views. Really weird. It's really, really weird. Really indicative of just how not great things have been for the Habs. Hey, dernier for Lafreniere, right? Hey, let's go, let's go. Hope you enjoyed this video. So much as I trust 99, and bye.